Hello and welcome to another video of me trying to make some pedal arms and pedal stuff for drift trike. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. This isn't what we used last time. It's completely different. This is what we were talking about last time. I've decided that I'm probably not going to use this. Yeah, I'm going to use this. I've gone ahead and taken the liberty of making this without doing it on camera. But the purpose of this video is to show you basically what I've done. It works. It's well, yeah, I'll show you in a second. Right, so I've got everything set out here. I'm not taking the plate off this because I can't be bothered. I don't need to, and it's set at the right height as well. But if you're making this, you're gonna have to figure out the right width and that here for your hub, because yours is likely to be different to mine. I'm just saying this is more of a, this is the generalisation of the parts that you'll need. I don't expect you to copy everything that I've got here exactly, because the likelihood is it won't work. I mean, look at these they're not even pedal arms, they're just a piece of channel bar that I've got with a hole drilled in them. Now, you probably don't have the same as this, or the only reason I use this is because you can use the nut in here as a captive nut. But anyway, yeah. So, this is the first part. You can see we've adapted that plate. It used to stick out to like here, but I've tried it on the actual trike, on the forks, and it needs to be cut down a bit for clearance. So that's on there. And then the next thing that goes on is the hub. Get it like that, and then that is essentially your workings. The next thing that goes in is this. Now there's no bearings in this hub at the moment, and I doubt I'll be putting any in, just because I don't think, the thing is, it adds width to this to the hub once the bearings are in, and at the moment it's set up in like a perfect equilibrium on the forks. So if I have bearings in where they should be, I don't think it will work. But saying that, this seems to run freely enough. I don't think it'll stick or do anything horrible when we use it. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it like this for now. I might put it on the trike. I might finish it and realise I should have put bearings in there. But technically this shouldn't spin too often, because it is most likely to be pedalled the majority of the time, which means that the friction between this little funny shaped chamfered nut and the hub shouldn't be too much of an issue. Anyway, so that goes on there as tight as you can get it, with the hub still being able to turn and with no play up and down in it. Obviously this isn't central. It would have to be when it's going on the, well, I don't know how obvious it is, but the hub doesn't sit exactly in the middle of this spindle. It needs shifting over a little bit, but that is all to do with where that plate sits. But yeah, it works how it is for now. Yeah, that's the key thing, is that oh, excuse me. That turns that way, 3 wheels like that, but it won't. As soon as I try, I can't get it to turn the other way, but it spins freely this way. That is the main principle of what we're doing. I know I'm probably jabbering on a bit here. Hang on. I thought someone was coming to interrupt my recording, but no, it's just the dog outside. Yeah, anyway, so as I was saying that, and then the next thing to go on is these pedal arms, unfortunately this nut is stuck in here. I can't get it off. But yeah, basically what you want to do is with the slotted end, the grippy end, facing the back of here, you want to thread it on. This is all finger tight at the moment. I'll tighten up these so they don't slip in the vise. I'll have to change camera angle. Now, unfortunately, the thread isn't too good on these, so I do have to use an adjustable spanner. just to get them where I want them. So when this is at a reasonable depth, you can start threading on your pedal arms. Hopefully there's enough thread there to get it to bite. Yeah, there you go. So it's not quite right. It needs a little bit more depth. As you can see, the that is recessed. I want that right flush with the top of the nut. So I'm just going to keep adjusting it until it's in the right place. Using a combination of the spanner and my fingers at the moment because it's a bit fiddly. Oh no, the spanner's gone a bit small. Oops. Should really use a smaller adjustable spanner, but I haven't got one handy. Right, here we go. Put it onto there. Now, it's not flush, but it's good enough. There's enough of a bite on it for it to keep it there. Once I've tightened it down in the vise, it'll probably be alright. Now for this end, I was saying before, in here I've ground it flat because there's a little bit of bevel. See this end? There's a little bit of a bevel in the channel there. I've tried my best to grind that out here so it's completely square. But yeah, and this time the nut that's going in this channel, the grippy bit wants to be face down in here. And then obviously the same as before, when you're putting this nut onto the spindle here, the grippy bit wants to be facing the pedal arm here. If I can get it on. As I said, the thread's a bit knackered on this. But it's okay, we can deal with it. Now, I would be using a socket for this, only that I don't think we have a 22.5mm socket, because that's what this is. For some odd reason. So, I'm using an adjustable spanner. Still not perfect, so you keep having to adjust it. So there's quite a bit of play in this one, but it's okay. Just means that the video's a little bit longer and you sit there bored for a little bit longer. Which is why I'm talking gibberish, to try and keep you, I don't know, what's the word, entertained while I faff about with this. That should be enough. There we go. Right, so now I can show you the basic principle. Just get square, there we go. So the basic principle is that there's going to be pedals attached to the end of here, and as I pull these forward, it's enough pressure to pull the I don't know whether you can see it, to pull the hub through my hands. But as soon as I go the other way, or the hub spins on its own, then it's free to move, and of course the wheel would be attached to this, and then the forks go in here. But the reason I've left such a big gap there is because that I'm going to put bearings and housings on there, and then bolt or weld the housing of the bearing to the bottom of the forks, and that'll mean that this part will actually spin. This will be the axle, if you like. If it was in a car, it'd be the axle that was joined to the chassis. In this case, it's the spindle joined into the forks. But that's how it'll be attached, so that there's no friction and it doesn't break and overheat. But that is the basic principle of it, and I'll just tighten it up in the vise now and give you a better shot of it. Right, so it's in the vise now, and it moves quite freely. And the idea of this is that you've got something that for the pedal arm to push against. You can really tighten up these nuts against it, because the only thing that stops the pedal arms from spinning around on the spindle there is the friction between the pedal arm and these nuts. That's why I'm using ones with the grip lines in them. Pushing all my body weight on it, just to try and get it as tight as possible. Because the tighter they are, the less likely they are to slip. And we'll do the same for the other side. See, I think I might have to move it over to there in future, because as I pull it back, it's getting affected on this. Because this is because it's not tight. The spindle can spin in against this one, and that's moving this pedal arm out of alignment with this one. So if I can, that seems to be about right now. I'll try and hold it there while I tighten this up. And it's gone out of alignment again. I'll move it 90 degrees. I'm just trying to get the balance right in between when I know that the nut is going to stop, and how much effort I have to put in to try and align these up. Really, I could do it making a jig to sort this out. Right, that shouldn't go anywhere now. Right, so yeah, just move that stool. So this is the principle of it. That just needs a little tightening in there to stop the play. There we go. So that freewheels that way, or technically it should be that, freewheeling like that. So that's your rolling motion when you're not pedalling. You'd be going along and rolling like that. And then as soon as you start pedalling, your pedal arm pushes like that, and you can see it. But even through my tightest grip on there, it'll still push straight through. So it's a strong mechanism, and that's what I'm going to be using. That mechanism. Whether I still haven't decided whether I'm actually going to be using this one and try and rethread the spokes on to the front wheel that I've got, or I'll just buy a whole new one. And I'll probably, because I've looked a lot on the internet for hubs identical to this. I think I might have already said this in one of my earlier videos, but I can't find any with the same amount of teeth on here, so I'd have to change the plate that I've got there, but that might be for the better. So yeah, I might use this, I might not. Obviously I won't be using these. I'm getting a milling machine soon. I'll mill some arms for it, or I might just see what I can do with this. If I don't know what I'll do. I might just leave a little bit here and then weld the straight bit of the arm up there where that would be. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do to actually attach the pedals, because this looks a bit shabby, to be fair. But yeah, like I said earlier, the bearings would be sitting in there, so they're like that, and then the forks are attached to the bearings, so the forks would be coming up here, and then the wheel would be here, and yeah, the wheel would be moving, and then you put your pedal motion in to turn it. But yeah, that's how you do it. Just give you a close-up shot, and then they're moving and turning that. I'm sure you get it better now. It's just I'm making sure that you completely understand if you're going to try and have a go at this yourself. But yeah, that's the mechanism that I've got so far. Any additions to it, putting it on the trike, putting the bearings on, anything like that, I'll keep you updated. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, and hopefully you can have a go at building that yourself. See you.